everyone, I'm Martinez. My name is Itzell, and it's Mask Monday. We're going to be using this mask today. We leave it on for 15 to 20 minutes. I already cleansed and toned my face. And we are going to read 4 Reddit stories. So, yeah. I think next week I want to try and find some spring related activities, but we shall see. If not, you might get Reddit stories. Again, I don't know. So, lots of serum. And I just picked the ones that stood out to me the most, and hopefully you like them. And you let me know who you think the a-hole is. And if it was you in this situation, maybe what would you do? So, yeah. We'll hear my thoughts and opinions and all that. Okay, hold on. There we go. That's better. Alright. Lots of serum. There we go. Alright. So, let's get into the first story. Am I the a-hole for telling my fiance I'll leave him if he keeps using our money to support his homeless mother who hid foreclosure from us for years? This whole situation is a mess. I don't know if I'm being heartless or just finally setting boundaries. My mother-in-law lost her house due to foreclosure. The twist? She never told us. 4 years. My fiance and I absolutely absolutely would have helped if we had known. We're not rich by any means, but would have done whatever we could to make sure she was able to stay in her house, especially because she lives with her severely disabled husband, my fiance's father, and her disabled adult daughter. Now they're all homeless and we're left scrambling. When everything came to light and they got evicted, I immediately got them an extended stay hotel and paid for a week in advance while talking with my fiance about how they were gonna pay to live in the hotel. I was told that their disability check would be used for housing, but apparently my fiance kept paying for their hotel and their storage unit using our joint bank account without telling me. I didn't notice right away because I have a business that I'm trying to grow and I'm busy taking care of our child. Yesterday I finally looked at our finances and saw that over $11,000 was used for all of their stuff, and I completely lost it. I drove to the hotel and told everyone that no more of our money would be used for them. I told my fiance that if one more cent of our money was used, I will break the engagement and leave. It's not that I don't care about them. I do, but I feel betrayed that she hid the foreclosure from us, let the situation spiral into homelessness, and used me as a personal piggy bank. This money that we have is to go to our new house that we were supposed to be buying and also to my daughter's school. I also feel disrespected that my fiance went behind my back and used our money without asking. Now, the morning after, I'm starting to feel guilty, like it's my fault that it's my fault that they are going to be on the streets. Also, I feel it's important to add that we have never had a good relationship with his side of the family. We have been together 13 years, so this isn't a new relationship. His mother has never really wanted anything to do with our daughter except for maybe 3 holidays a year that we go to her. Am I the a-hole for telling them that I will no longer financially help? Edit to add, they had money. They won a large settlement, a few million, and she blew it all. Personally, NTA, like like mother-in-law, the mother-in-law got herself in this situation. She had money. She didn't plan properly, whatever. Some people just blow through cash. And she did. And she didn't ask for help. And, like, she just made it snowball. It was, like, this small and got big. Like, honestly, the first thing you do when you get a big lump sum is make sure your house is paid off. And then make sure you have enough money for, if you live in the U.S., like, the taxes on your house every year. You know? So she got herself in this mess, and it's just like it's your job to get yourself out. It's like you can't always enable people. They have to do it themselves. Like, it sucks that there's so many people tied to this woman that have to suffer with her because of her bad choices. But I don't think it's OP's responsibility to take up that burden. What do you think? I already let you know what I think. Not the a-hole, in my opinion. So, next story. Am I the a-hole for cutting contact with my father after the DNA results showed that I was indeed his son? This is my first time posting, so I'm not entirely sure where to begin. Also, English is not my first language, so I apologize in advance. My 21M parents, 52M, and 45F are currently going through a divorce. It's not a nasty situation, just a recognition that they've stopped liking each other and can no longer stand being in the same room. For some background, they've been married for just over 21 years. Yes, I was the I was the reason they got married. And aside from me, 21M, they have another son, 9M, and full okay, a full 11 years younger than me. Well, we could do the math. About 2 weeks ago, they had the talk with their lawyers. I'm away in another region of the country for college, but according to my mom, during the discussion, my father repeatedly questioned whether I was actually his son. He claimed I had ruined his life and called my mom horrible names, his words, not mine. My mom decided to settle the matter with a DNA test, so I had to take leave from college and return home. The test was conducted with lawyers present, and throughout the entire process, my dad refused to look at me or say a single word to me. Afterward, I went back to college, and their divorce proceedings resumed. When the DNA results came back, my mom called me really cheerful and happy. I am indeed his son. The day passed without a single call from my dad. It took him 2 weeks to reach out, but I didn't answer. Honestly, I had no desire to hear from someone who had been so adamant that I was nothing but a burden his entire life. My silence was interpreted as rebellion, and now everyone on my dad's side of the family is angry with me. So my question is, should I even try to have a relationship with my dad after what he said, and how can I make him understand how deeply his words hurt me. Edit. Wow, thank you so much for all your support. I'm going to give him a piece of my mind today. Ha 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 ha. I'll update if there's anything to update. Once again, thank you for the support, the comments, and the advice. Update. Oops. Shit hit the fan in a way I didn't anticipate. He is actually staying camped on his belief and has asked me to sign a paper that's going to release him from any parental rights. Life has a way to show you who matters and who doesn't. In my case, I can tear apart the entire branch of the family tree. Wow, this dad's a piece of work. I didn't think the son was an a-hole at all. It was NTA for me. And I never understood that. Like, I had a friend growing up where her mom was like this, and she told her, like, her parents were getting divorced, and she told her child that was like 13 that she never wanted her, that she wanted to end the pregnancy, but the dad wouldn't let her. And yeah, it was just insane, and it blows my mind that people have no problem telling these things to their children, and it's just like, okay. And it's like, do you feel the same way about the 9-year-old or only the 21-year-old? Because your whole life changed. If you didn't want to have children, why were you having, protected or unprotected? If you really didn't want it, then you would have abstained, right? So we all know it's always a possibility. Unless you're at a certain age where it's not anymore. Or you're just infertile. That's the only time where you don't really have to think about it like that. Let me know your thoughts. Second story. Sorry about messing up. Oh, not second story. I was already in the second story. Third story. Well, this one got removed. So we're going to go with my fourth, but it's my third. I'll find another one. Don't worry. So, am I the a-hole for telling my friend it's illegal to claim she's a realtor when she doesn't have a real estate license? My 30F friend, Susie, 29F, recently told me she's been representing herself as a licensed agent and realtor to people despite not having completed the licensing exam. She works with a licensed broker named Bob who handles the legal aspects of transactions, but she's still telling people she's a realtor without having the credentials. I think you need the credentials. You can't be called a realtor without them, right? Okay. When I saw a text where she admitted this, I told her that's misrepresentation. And it's illegal, and that falsifying a license is a serious offense. I explained that this could potentially get both her and Bob in trouble since realtor is actually a protected term for members of the National Association of Realtors. She got defensive and said, I don't care, and that it's not really a lie, and it's so minor. She claims she's just using the term to make their brand sound more legit, and that she's not proactively saying she's a realtor to people in town. But in an earlier message, she clearly said yes when I asked if she's telling people she's a realtor. And she was sending a text to her friend reminding him that she is a realtor. She also stated on her brokerage website that she got her license in 2024. I recently saw this and said, you need to edit that out because you can't tell people you're a licensed agent. And she said she was planning to take it out. She eventually messaged me saying it seems like she struck a nerve and that she's not doing anything that puts Bob or our business at risk because she's not handling deals or writing offers. She ended by saying, LOL, I don't care, when I reminded her that misrepresentation and falsifying a license is illegal. I feel like I was just looking out for her by warning her about potential legal consequences, and she's acting like I'm being ridiculous and overreacting. It makes me feel sick to imagine my friend deceiving people like this, and to have complete disregard for the rules. To me, there is zero benefit of her lying. Am I the a-hole for calling her out on this? What should I do here? And Tia, you're not the a-hole. I feel like you are looking out for your friend, and she is going to get herself in trouble at some point, and she has no one to blame but herself. And if Bob was smart, he would not be working with her anymore. So let me know what you think about that. Like, is there somebody that you call besides the police to let them know that someone is lying about being licensed like that? Like, let me know. I'm very curious. Okay, now fourth story. I found a new one. Am I the a-hole for not waking my husband? My 40-year-old husband and I, 37, have been together for 5 years, and he hasn't been able... Oh. And he hasn't been the greatest for waking up on time. On occasion, I have woken him up after his 10 alarms have gone off in the morning, and he decides to go back to sleep. I sometimes get up at the same time for work, and I'm too busy getting ready myself to check if he's gotten up. Most times he eventually gets up on his own, although sometimes late, and I don't have to think about it. A few mornings ago, however, we both had to get up at the same time. I got up, said good morning, and kissed him and he smiled and said good morning, so one would think he's awake. I was gravely mistaken. I did my usual morning routine and popped into the shower, blow-dried my hair, and started doing my makeup. I go to start my morning coffee and notice he was still in bed, to which he angrily asked why I didn't make sure he was up. I was incredibly frustrated and replied, I thought you were up. I didn't exactly have time to check as I was showering and getting ready myself. He decided to reply to my statement by swearing at me and calling me names. I should have noticed he wasn't up. I told him that I wasn't his mother and he wasn't my son, and that it's not my responsibility to make sure he's up on time for work. He mumbled something under his breath, which I assume was just some nasty response. He got ready and headed out for work without another word, a kiss or a hug goodbye. Am I the a-hole for not waking my husband? He's been short with me ever since. NTA, in my opinion, like, you shouldn't have to wake somebody up. Like, my brother is like this, and my younger brother wakes him up, and it's just like, at some point, you're gonna have to figure something out to make sure you wake up on time. Like, it can't all be put on another person, because what happens when they're not around? What happens when they have their own things and they need to get done? Like this situation. Like, you need to be responsible for yourself. Why? Because you're an adult. So, here's an edit. Thank you for everyone's replies so far. He's normally a very loving and affectionate man. He sometimes loses his temper, just completely loses it on me, but realizes after and apologizes. But there's not a change in the behavior. He just keeps repeating the cycle. That's not good. Okay. I know it's not right at all, and there is absolutely no excuse to swear or call names at your significant other. I was trying to be understanding lately as he's lost his dad a few months ago. Losing someone is not like an excuse to treat those still living like garbage. We have had very animated fights about little things that I don't think are issues. I always try to talk things out and communicate to solve the issues. Unfortunately, when he gets angry, he only sees red and doesn't think about what he's saying and the results to yelling and swearing. That's not good. Don't make excuses for this man. What do y'all think? Personally, I feel like this man needs to work on himself in therapy. He needs to work on being better at communicating and working through his grief. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna have this just on here for a bit. I hope you enjoyed the Reddit stories. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for spending time with me. And if you want to see more Reddit stories, you want to hear them again, let me know. Leave comments. And like, why is one of my hairs just like stuck right there? That was so weird. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Thank you. Bye. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your week.